I didn't tell anyone this for a long time because I didn't think anyone would believe me. Hospitals have a way of making people disappear without anyone noticing. You come in weak, you leave quiet, and if the paperwork is clean enough, it's like you were never there at all. I used to think that was just bureaucracy. Now I know it's something else. I worked night shifts at a government hospital for a little under 4 months. That was enough. Some people work there for decades and still sleep fine. I don't know if that makes them stronger than me or just better at pretending nothing is wrong. I'm not pretending anymore.
Night shifts change how you see things, not because of the dark, but because of the silence between sounds. During the day, hospitals are loud. Voices, carts, footsteps, machines complaining about everything. At night, there's too much space between noises. Your brain fills the gaps whether you want it to or not. My job title was General Utility Staff. That meant I cleaned, moved things, responded to minor calls, and went where nurses didn't want to go. It also meant I learned the hospital's anatomy better than most doctors. The building was old in the way that ignores blueprints, renovations stacked on top of renovations, walls hiding other walls, hallways that curved slightly so you couldn't see their ends. There were rumors, of course, there always are, but most of them were boring. Patients dying in hallways, suicides in stairwells, nurses hearing their names called when no one was there. I didn't care. I needed the money.
The first strange thing wasn't the door, it was the smell. 4th floor, West Wing, always around 3 a.m. At first, I thought something died in the walls. It was that kind of smell. Organic, sour, like sweat soaked into fabric and forgotten for years. But it only appeared at night and only in that wing. I reported it. Maintenance checked the vents. Nothing. After that, I learned to breathe through my mouth when I passed through. That's probably what saved me. The door appeared during my 2nd week. I say appeared because I swear it wasn't there before. I had mopped that hallway dozens of times. I knew where every door was supposed to be. This one didn't belong. Steel, thick, hospital green. No number plate, no signage. The window was reinforced with wire glass, like the ones used in psychiatric wards. I remember touching it. The metal was cold in a way air conditioning doesn't explain. I tried the handle. There wasn't one. I asked around. Nobody wanted to talk about it. A nurse told me it was storage. A guard said it was sealed. Admin told me the West Wing was non-operational and advised me not to wander. That last part stuck with me. Not don't open it, don't wander.
The first sound came a few nights later. I was pushing a cart when I heard it. A soft thud, like skin hitting tile. Then another. Bare footsteps. Slow. Measured. They stopped whenever I stopped moving. I waited, holding my breath. The sound stopped too. When I turned around, the hallway was empty. Except the door was open. Just a crack.
I started having dreams. Not nightmares, those wake you up. These didn't. In the dreams, I was walking through the hospital, but it was darker, quieter. The lights flickered just enough to make everything feel unstable. Doors were open that shouldn't be. Beds lined the hallways. Patients lay in them, unmoving. Their eyes followed me. When I reached the green door, it was always open. I never remembered what was inside. I just woke up sweating. Things escalated. A wheelchair appeared outside the door one night, turned toward it like someone had parked it there deliberately. A call light rang from inside the sealed wing. The CCTV feed glitched whenever the camera faced that hallway, static, then black. Security wrote it off as old wiring. Everything in that building was old wiring.
I finally got a straight answer from an old nurse named Teresa. She cornered me in the supply room and spoke so quietly I almost missed it. That floor used to be isolation, she said. For what? She didn't answer right away, just kept folding gauze. Patients who didn't respond, she said finally. Respond to what? Treatment? Pain? Sedation? Death? I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. She didn't.
According to Teresa, decades ago, before protocols and ethics boards and international oversight, the hospital ran an unofficial ward. Patients with contagious, degenerative, or non-cooperative conditions were sent there. Not criminals, not violent, just inconvenient. They were isolated until they got better, or stopped costing money. Some of them didn't do either.
The records were incomplete. Entire months missing. Names crossed out. Discharge dates without outcomes. One note appeared over and over again in faded ink. Patient remains conscious.
The night everything broke, I was alone on the 4th floor. That wasn't unusual. Staff numbers were thin at night. But something felt off. The air was heavier, the smell stronger. At 3:11 a.m., the lights flickered. At 3:12 a.m., they went out. Emergency lights activated, except in the West Wing. Darkness swallowed that hallway completely. Then I heard the door open. Not a creak, not a slam. A controlled, deliberate motion. Something knew how doors worked. I stood frozen. My brain screamed at me to run, but my body refused. There was a pressure in the air, like static before a storm. Footsteps emerged from the darkness. Bare skin on tile. One step. Pause. Another. Closer. The smell was unbearable now. Human decay mixed with antiseptic, like something that had been scrubbed repeatedly but never fully cleaned. I whispered, "Hello?" The footsteps stopped. Something inhaled, right behind me. I ran. I don't remember deciding to. My body just moved. The hallway seemed longer than it should have been. Lights flickered on and off as I passed, plunging me into darkness again and again. I heard footsteps behind me, matching my pace without speeding up. It didn't need to. It knew where I was going. I made it to the stairwell and slammed the door. The sound on the other side wasn't banging. It was scratching. Slow. Patient. Like it had all the time in the world. Security found me shaking on the steps. They didn't ask many questions. They knew. That was worse. Administration blamed exhaustion. They always do. They gave me 3 days off and suggested I rest. I used those days to dig. Old staff forums, archived news articles, scanned microfilm.
I found a mention of a temporary ward, closed after administrative restructuring. No mention of patients. No mention of deaths. No mention of where they went.
I also found a photograph. Black and white. Grainy. A long room filled with beds. Patients strapped down. Not aggressively, but carefully, like someone didn't want them to fall. Their eyes were open. All of them.
The final night came quietly. Too quietly. No smells, no sounds, no flickering lights. The green doors stood open, wide, waiting.
I don't remember choosing to walk toward it. Inside, the room was impossibly large. Rows of beds stretched farther than the hospital should allow. Some were empty. Some weren't. Shapes lay beneath yellowed sheets. Breathing. All of them. They turned their heads toward me in perfect unison. Eyes clear. Minds awake. Bodies ruined.
They spoke, not with voices, with need, with years of waiting compressed into a single moment. They wanted someone to remember them. They wanted someone to stay. I woke up in the ER. They said I collapsed. They said the West Wing was sealed. They said no such ward ever existed. I quit that morning. Months later, I learned something that keeps me awake. Hospitals renovate. Walls move. Gores disappear. But they don't remove rooms like that. They just seal them. And sometimes, when the building gets quiet enough, the doors remember where they used to be.